have clean, accessible drinking water across the county.
The hustle of everyday Kenyans is encouraged and rewarded.
Operationalizing Kerugoya Level 5 Hospital.
A functioning school feeding program.
But how have the leaders performed so far?
The percentage of AIDS in 2021 were more than those ones in 2022.
We will not politicize security, because if we do so, we endanger the country.
Every week, we bring you an honest assessment of the national and county governments.
One of the best ways of accelerating national development is through collaboration with county governments.
The Scorecard, every Tuesday at 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1. Programming changes on Channel 1 starting this March. Your favorite entertainment show Grapevine shifts from Tuesday to Monday night at 10 p.m. Take on Tech, the show that keeps you up to date with the latest technological trends, will now be airing from 10:30 p.m. on Mondays. Join us every Tuesday as we bring you a performance assessment of the national and county governments on Scorecard from 10 p.m. KBC Channel 1, keeping you informed and entertained.
Sunday, the 12th day of March 2023, it is. Good afternoon. This is the Great KBC and this is KBC Lunchtime News. Thank you so much for making time. We're live from the broadcasting house here in the county of Nairobi, and also we are live on all our social media spaces. For comments, suggestions, or even where you are watching us from, we highly recommend. My name is Njue. My colleague on the sign language interpretation is Lensa Odingo. Now, straight to the news. We do begin with the new sheriff in town as far as corruption and graft is concerned, where the chairperson of Evangelical Alliance of Kenya and former presiding Bishop of Christ is the Answer Ministry's CTAM, David Oginde, says he will put his best foot forward and leave nothing to chance in the war against graft if Parliament approves his appointment as chair of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. In an exclusive interview with KBC Channel 1 on Sunday, Oginde thanked President William Ruto for nominating him to that position to join hands with other entities in waging war on corruption. If approved by the National Assembly, Oginde will replace retired Archbishop Eliud Wabukala, who retired in January 2023 after 6 years of service.
To thank God for opening this door, but to also thank the President for having the confidence in me at this time, because this is a very significant role for our nation. One of the things that have really bedeviled our nation is corruption. And so for him to consider that I could stand with him in this fight against corruption is something that I don't take for granted. I also want to thank the Public Service Commission that out of the 89 people who presented themselves, they chose me among 3 others so that we could be part of this. So we look forward to the time when Parliament makes the final decision, and after that we can see what to do as we serve the nation. This is significant for us because the church stands for values, the church stands for morality, the church stands for ethics and uprightness. So it is an opportunity for us as the church leaders to demonstrate and have opportunity to also help the nation to move towards a life of integrity. So, but I would say I don't think I've come in because I'm a man of God, but because I believe through the process they consider that I might have something.
Thank you. And now to the war on banditry in 6 counties that have been declared disturbed. The government has issued a 24-hour vacate notice to civilians living in 27 marked areas and spread across 5 counties where it believes bandits have been hiding and using their families as human shield. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki says on the expiry of the ultimatum on Monday at 8:30 a.m., the government will embark on a new phase of the war that targets flushing the bandits from caves, forests, gorges and ravines. Deputy Inspector General of Police Njue Gabo will lead the operation, taking over from the Rift Valley Regional Police Commander.
The public is hereby ordered to vacate immediately from the following areas and coordinates. And this must be done immediately. And in any case, within 24 hours, effective today, the 12th of March 2023, 8:30 a.m. 1. Corcoran Hills, Tandare Valley, and Silale Gorges in Baringo County. 2. Mukogodo Forest, Kamwenje, Warero and Donyorigwo, Lekuruki Hills, Losos, and Kiape Caves and Seku Valley in Laikipia County. 3. Tungai, Longewan, Nasur, Lochokia, and Lekadar escarpments. Lolmolok Caves, Pura Valley, and Suguta Valley, and Malaso escarpment, the entire escarpment from Marti to Tungai, all this in Samburu County. 4. Kapelbok, Nakwamoru, Lekobat, Ombolion, Nadome, and Kamur Caves in Turkana County. And also the Takwel escarpment at the interface of West Pokot and Turkana counties. The above specified spaces are hereby declared scenes of crime, and any person found therein from Monday 13th March 2023, 8:30 hours, will be treated as a suspect of armed banditry or as a suspect of aiding and abetting banditry or as an accessory after the fact. Everyone must get out.
Tough words from the CS Kithure Kindiki. In other news, reduced donor funding to non-governmental organizations, NGOs, has negatively impacted youth and women groups across the country who depend on the funds to establish various businesses. Isaiah Alwala and Evelyn Atoka, officials from EACC, a community-based organization, say the majority of youths and women groups are hugely affected by dwindling donor funding, hence the need to shift focus to government grants and funds like Youth, Women Enterprise and Hustler Fund to boost their businesses. A section of women applauded EACCAD for their trainings and urged the government to support them through grants and cheaper loans.
kulingana na vile wafadhili wanatupatia, na ni vizuri kama saizi serikali inaweza ingia ndani through county government, tushikane pamoja mikono ili tusaidie wananchi wetu, because ukiangalia sisi tunategemea mashirika ambayo ni ya nje ili kutufadhili tuweze kufikia mwananchi mwenye ako hapa chini. Lakini tukijipanga vizuri, tukitumia resources zetu vizuri as a county, tutaweza pia ku-address some of the challenges ambazo zinatu-affect huku mashinani.
Wamama are not aware that apart from loan, kuna zingine ambazo zinapeana kama grant. So we are doing awareness creation and educating these women ili wajue each and every office at the county level roles zao ni nini kwa mama kwa village, na ni jinsi gani ambao wanaweza kupitia hizi ofisi ili wapate kusaidika na njia tofauti tofauti. Ni jukumu la wamama wakishaunda vikundi na wakuwe legal, wakuwe registered, wajitokeze waende kwa hizi ofisi za serikali ili wapate kufaidika kulingana na services ambazo hizi maofisi zinaofa. Kando na hiyo, wamama pia wenyewe kwa wenyewe wanafaa kujifunza jinsi ya kutumia hizi pesa zilete mabadiliko kwa maisha yao.
Shirika la iCard limenisaidia sana sana kwa klasta yangu upande wa wamama. Imefanya wamama wamekuwa na pesa angalau kusaidia watoto school fees, kujisaidia kujikimu mahitaji ndogo ndogo ndani ya nyumba, na kwa sana mambo na shule.
Elsewhere, a section of residents in Githurai 44 Estate in Nairobi have put on the spot police officers from Kasarani police station for allegedly failing to arrest a man who reportedly hired a firearm to a criminal. According to the residents who staged protest, the armed criminal who was shot dead by police officers from Kasarani police station on 3rd March this year got the gun from a person they believe is unlicensed to hold a firearm. The residents say reports made to the Kasarani DCI boss on the unlicensed gun owner were ignored, and are now claiming that there could be a syndicate that engages the youth in the area in crime and thereafter eliminating them. Kasarani Sub-County Police Commander Purity Wahome confirmed the shooting incident but denied knowledge of the gun owner.
Ilikodeshwa kijana anaitwa Mape au Kibe. Na yule mwenye hiyo puduki alikuwa anamkodesha ni rafiki yangu, lakini alikuja akanionyesha puduki amepewa iwe security. Wakati niliona ameanza kukodesha, hata niliripoti kwa DCI mwenyewe. Na sasa hiyo puduki mwishoe imeua huyo kijana saa hii, alipigwa risasi huko juu.
Hawa wamehusika kwa hili jambo, ni watu wamekuwa kitumia vijana wetu vibaya. Mimi kama mama nasikia niko na uchungu kwa sababu kumpoteza mtoto sio rahisi. Hatutaki mtoto mwingine, kijana mwingine atumike, apoteze uhai wake kama huyu wetu.
Kuna one gangster who was gunned down at Githurai area, Mabatini, na kukakuwa na recovery ya assessed pistol. About the information being shared with the police, what I would like to say is that hakuna mtu mwenye ashaikuja kwa ofisi yangu na kapeana hii information regarding the firearm, na if at all anybody had that information na ikuwe shared kwangu, I could have taken the necessary action and acted immediately. So about the ownership, the TCI is still investigating to establish the ownership of that firearm, so that if at all what you are saying is true, then we have to go for the so-called Mwenda and Kirima, so that they can tell us if they are really licensed firearm holders, how did their firearm get to the head of the criminal.
In other news, members of the Mau Mau Regional Trust want the government to expedite their compensation for the atrocities committed to the freedom fighters by the colonial government. The members who gathered at the Githongori Stadium in Kiambu County to honor those who died at the height of the rebellion said there is a need to pay homage to those who took up arms to liberate Kenya from the yoke of colonialism.
Sisi wote wale waliteswa na wakoloni na home guards, wale walifanya mambo isiyo ya kawaida ama kinyume ya binadamu. Ile pesa iko yetu katika World Bank na IMF haiwezi hesabika, na ni Mwingereza aliweka hapo sababu ile faida alipata juu ya slave trade na colonialism inatosha kulipa Waafrika wote na dunia yote.
Ikuje haraka iwezekanavyo, kwa sababu watu wanaenda na kukufa, wanaendelea kukufa, na ni vibaya sana wazazi wetu wakimalizika bila wao kuoja hii pesa.
Kama mimi wakati huu sasa niko na 90 years, na hiyo 90 years sasa ningefurahia kukula matunda kidogo, na hiyo ingine niwashia watoto yangu.
At about 12 minutes past the hour, we are due for a fast break. But before we do that, let me remind you that from 7 a.m. tonight, KBC Channel 1's Nancy Okware, that is from 7 p.m., will be handling an interview with the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua from his current residence. That is Nancy Okware will be handling that interview at 7 a.m. tonight. So kindly keep it Channel 1. Away from that, allow me to appreciate Anita Kate, who says she's tuned in. Lucas Mamanyi, you say you're tuned in from Baraton University. Kings, live watching KBC from Mtwapa, Mombasa. Let's have that quick break. We'll be right back.
Kuna hizi kampuni zenye zinajua mali niko, kitu nimekula breko, kitu ninasema sahi, kitu nitakula next week on Thursday, pesa niko nazo kwa account, siblings wangu, the list is endless. Na mnajuaje hii information? Kwani mnani stalk?
Lakini nikuulize, kabla ya kupress allow, ulijiuliza hii information inatumiwa kwa njia gani? Kabla ya kuallow, hakikisha umesoma terms and conditions.
Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na ofisi ya Data Protection Commissioner.
I was part of the team ilitumwa to take out Burhan. Nilikaa for 5 years, nika study the man. All I ask is you let me right my wrongs and give me an opportunity to bring Burhan down for good. Senior Sergeant Farah, aka Stingray. Opro Ibrahim, aka Mongoose. Opro Katana, aka Panther. PC Kibet, aka University. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We do this for honor. Yeah. Our loved ones, our family, and our country. 1, 2, 3.
Kama imefika ile info kudeliver bidhaa kama kawa kuna maswali.
After the dust settled on rigorous campaigns, Kenyans are waiting for elected leaders to deliver on their pledges.
To have clean, accessible drinking water across the county.
The hustle of everyday Kenyans is encouraged and rewarded.
Operationalizing Kerogoya Level 5 Hospital.
A functioning school feeding program.
But how have the leaders performed so far?
The percentage of AIDS in 2021 were more than those ones in 2022.
We will not politicize security, because if we do so, we endanger the country.
Every week, we bring you an honest assessment of the national and county governments.
One of the best ways of accelerating national development is through collaboration with county governments.
The Scorecard. Every Tuesday at 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back, and just in case you joined us, this is Lunchtime News. Let's have a look at the latest drought situation in the country, where over 4,000 households spread across 2 wards in Turkana County have benefited from the latest consignment of relief food donated through the National Steering Committee on Drought Response. Turkana Central Deputy County Commissioner Mashira Gadongo said the government is doing everything possible to ensure no one dies of hunger.
The World Food Programme says 5.1 million children in Somalia, Ethiopia and Kenya are acutely malnourished. And in Kenya, the agency says nearly 1 million children less than 5 years, as well as pregnant or breastfeeding women, are acutely malnourished.
Ndio tukasema
population ya hapa tuletewe chakula 2,000 ya nyumba 2,036. Ile chakula iko hapa ndio kiasi sahihi.
Led by the National Drought Management Authority, development partners have joined in with a further 2,070 households in Kalokol Ward, Turkana County, targeted for relief food.
Na tuko hapa kwa sababu serikali ya Mheshimiwa Rais Daktari William Samoei Ruto imenaelewa ya kwamba Kenya tuko na janga la gasi ambayo inaathiri kaunti zaidi ya 20, karibu 29, Turkana County ikiwa moja yao.
Rais wetu William Ruto alisema Wakenya waje wasaidie Wakenya. Ndiposa benki yetu ikasema hatutaachwa nyuma.
With persisting unpredictable weather patterns, programs such as the livestock offtake and cash transfer programs emerged as some of the complementary measures in alleviating hunger. According to the Farmer and Early Warning System Network, analysis monitored and mapped over 50 years, long rains in Kenya have declined by more than 100 millimeters since the mid-1970s. Alan Auko, Lunchtime News.
To some politics now, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula is asking the opposition Azimio One Kenya Coalition Party to give Kenya Kwanza administration time to deliver its promises instead of derailing the agenda through mass action. Other leaders allied to the ruling coalition similarly implored on Raila Odinga to call off the demos. Geshoki Washira has this report.
Speaking during a funds drive at Kiboswa Seventh-day Adventist Church in Nandi County, Kenya Kwanza leaders led by National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula criticized the Azimio One Kenya Brigade for planning mass action against the government. The leaders attributed the current high cost of living to bad economic policies implemented by the previous government. Similar calls against mass actions were made in Lelu, Kipkelion West, where Kericho Governor Eric Mutai urged the government to remain firm against the opposition.
I want to remind them this. Now usikie kutoka hapa Kericho. You can play with everything, but you cannot play with our president.
In Kajiado County, a section of political leaders and Maasai Council of Elders called for a political truce between the ruling party and the opposition.
Sisi kama wazee hatuko upande yote, hatuko katika chama chochote ya ODM ama UDA. Tutasimama katikati. Serikali ikifanya vibaya tutasema leo umefanya mbaya.
Mimi nikaona sababu lengo ameheshimu na akakubali rais wa Kenya ni William Samoei Ruto, hata mimi nimekubali lengo ndio gavana.
In Nakuru County, a section of residents has called on Azimio leaders to call off planned countrywide protests and rallies, saying the move will destabilize the country. The residents under the umbrella of Kenya Internally Displaced Persons Organization are fearful the mass action could turn into chaos and violence.
Hata sio haja ya maandamano wako nayo, ni kuharibu wanaharibu. Na hiyo maandamano ni ya bure juu mambo yote imepita na uchaguzi ukakuja tukachaguana na tulikuwa tumeomba Mungu atupe kiongozi yule anafaa na ndivyo Mungu alifanya.
Geshoki Washira, Lunchtime News.
Let's now shift gears to sports. Kenya emerged overall champions in the both under-18 youth and under-20 junior categories in this year's East Africa Athletics Championships held at the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. The under-20 junior team topped the medal standings with 18 medals, 11 gold, 4 silver and 3 bronze medals. In the under-18 youth championships, Kenya reigned supreme once more, bagging 13 gold medals, 5 silvers and a bronze. Zanzibar followed in a distant second at the under-18 championships with a gold, 3 silver and a bronze, while host Tanzania finished third, having accumulated 4 silvers and 8 bronze. Hippos FC lifted the inaugural Sitao Kefofa Cup after beating Sportive FC 3-2 in post-match penalties of the final played at the Ngong Racecourse here in Nairobi. The tournament's mission was to strengthen the already existing 60-year-old relationship between China and Kenya.
Hippos FC came out on top in the Tsingtao Kefofa Cup final against A1000 Sportive FC to win the inaugural edition of the tournament. The two sides had battled to a barren draw in regulation time before the encounter was decided from the spot. Kevin Odingo netted the decisive penalty after Hippos goalkeeper Ezekiel Kombo saved A1000 Sportive spot kick.
And for this tournament, I'm very happy. So many Chinese, Kenya young people join together, and we think we do some right things. And in the future, we want to do more and more.
Tuko na exchange program na Tsingtao. Kuna wale players tutapeleka China. Msione kama hii tournament ilikuwa ya mchezo, si ya mchezo. Kuna wale tumeona watachaguliwa, they'll go and play China.
Hippos midfielder Bramwell Karamoja emerged the most valuable player of the tournament. Goalkeeper Sichen Lee was fitted as the best Chinese player in
Cross borders, defending champions Wydad Athletic Club inched closer to the quarterfinals of the CAF Champions League after beating Petro di Luanda 2-0 in Angola. In another match, the young Teranga Lions of Senegal trounced Gambia counterparts 2-0 to lift their first ever Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations trophy at the Cairo International Stadium in Egypt.
Full of action in Luanda.
Second half goal from Arsene Zola and Ball Junior Sambo in the 59th minute and 90th minute gave Wydad victory, and a second consecutive for returning coach Juan Carlos Garrido.
Mistake from the goalkeeper Hugo Marquez and centre-back Arsene Zola, the DR Congo player.
With the win, they hold the top Group A with 9 points, 5 ahead the third place Petro, and will only need a point in the next year's match to affirm a place in the CAF Champions League. Meanwhile, Manisa Knights scored the winner in the 89th minute